Welcome to our deep dive into ecotherapy. Exploring how connecting with nature can boost your mental and emotional well-being, and not just in like the obvious ways. We've got research articles, even some historical perspectives here.
Yeah, it's funny how ecotherapy is often thought of as like this modern trend, when in reality it's like rooted in ancient
Yeah.
practices. I mean, cultures like the Greeks and Romans, they were using nature in their healing practices like centuries ago, recognizing the power of fresh air and sunlight.
Right, so we're not talking about some fad here. What I find really interesting is the modern science backing it up. We've all felt that sense of calm after a walk in the park, right? But the research shows it's more than a feeling.
Absolutely. There's growing evidence that nature can actually boost our physical health in measurable ways. One great example is the research on forest bathing, which originated in Japan. Studies have shown that spending time in forests can increase our natural killer cells, which are essential for a healthy immune system.
Okay, so forest bathing. We're not talking about literally bathing in a forest, are we?
No, not literally. It's more about immersing yourself in the sights, sounds, and smells of the forest environment.
So intentionally engaging all your senses and being present in that natural space.
Precisely. And the research suggests that this practice can actually strengthen your immune system, almost like a natural shield against illness.
Wow. It's incredible to think that just being in nature can have such a big impact on our health. And it goes beyond just immunity, too, right? What about the effects on our mental and emotional well-being?
You're right. The benefits extend way beyond boosting immunity. One area where ecotherapy really shines is in its ability to combat stress. Studies show that even brief exposure to nature, it can actually trigger a decrease in cortisol, the stress hormone, which obviously has a ripple effect on our mental and physical health.
So nature's like a natural chill pill,
Yeah.
helping us regulate those stress responses that are so common in our modern lives. I'm curious about the science behind this. How does being in nature lower our stress levels?
Well, there are a few things at play. One is the impact on our nervous system. Natural environments tend to evoke a sense of calm and safety, which helps to regulate our fight or flight response. This then leads to a decrease in cortisol and other stress hormones.
Makes sense. When we're surrounded by nature, we feel less threatened, less on edge. Our bodies can finally relax and let go of that constant state of alert.
Exactly. There's also the concept of attention restoration theory, developed by Rachel and Stephen Kaplan. This theory suggests that nature acts like a mental refresh button for our brains, allowing them to recover from the constant stimulation of modern life.
So it's not just about de-stressing, it's about actually restoring our cognitive function. Tell me more about how this refresh button works. What's happening in our brains when we're immersed in nature?
Okay, so attention restoration theory says our brains have two modes of attention: directed attention, which we use for focus tasks, and involuntary attention, which is effortless and engaged by things that fascinate us. Natural environments are rich in stimuli that capture our involuntary attention: the rustling leaves, the birds, the play of light and shadow.
So instead of constantly directing our focus, which can be mentally draining, nature lets us shift to this more effortless mode of attention, giving our brains a break.
Precisely. And this restorative effect has been shown to improve focus, reduce mental fatigue, and even boost creativity. Studies have shown that people have better problem-solving skills after spending time hiking in nature.
That's incredible. It's like nature is a secret weapon for our brains. And this all ties into the growing field of ecopsychology, which explores our psychological connection to the natural world. It suggests that our disconnect from nature isn't just a lifestyle choice, it actually hurts us.
That's a really important point. Ecopsychology highlights how interconnected our well-being is with our relationship with nature. This disconnect from nature has been linked to more stress, anxiety, and even depression.
It's almost as if we're wired for a connection with nature. And when that connection is severed, our mental health suffers.
Exactly. It's like denying ourselves something we need. Think about it. For most of human history, we lived so close to nature. It was an integral part of our lives.
Right. Not something we just visit on weekends. Our modern way of life, with all the technology and indoor environments, it has created this disconnect. And we're only beginning to understand the consequences. But it's not all bad news, is it? The fact that we're recognizing this disconnect means we can start to fix it, to reconnect with nature and reap the benefits.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of ecotherapy. It offers a way back to that connection, providing us with tools and practices to reintegrate nature into our lives.
My mind is blown. It's amazing to think that nature holds the key to so many benefits for our well-being. Next time, we'll look at what ecotherapy actually looks like in practice, exploring the different forms it can take. But one thing is clear. This isn't just about a walk in the park. It's about tapping into a powerful force for healing and well-being that's been with us all along.
Welcome back to our deep dive into ecotherapy. Last time we talked about how deep our connection to nature really is, and how even short exposures can be good for our health.
Yeah, it was fascinating to learn about how nature helps us regulate stress and restore our mental energy. I'm excited to explore how we can actually put this into practice. What are some ways we can integrate ecotherapy into our lives?
That's a great question. The beauty of ecotherapy is its diversity. There's a huge range of approaches, from simple daily practices to really immersive experiences.
So it's not just about those big wilderness retreats. There are options for everyone, no matter what their lifestyle is.
Exactly. Let's start with some of the simple things, like nature walks and hiking. These are great ways to get physical activity and enjoy nature at the same time.
So it's not just about exercise, it's about really experiencing nature with all your senses.
Precisely. Studies have shown that even a short walk in nature can have big benefits. It can reduce stress, improve your mood, and even boost your brain power.
That's encouraging for those of us who aren't exactly marathon runners. We can still get those benefits with a walk in the park or a hike in the woods.
Absolutely.
Ew.
And if you want a more hands-on experience, there's gardening and horticultural therapy.
This one really caught my attention. I love the idea of getting your hands dirty for therapy. Tell me more about how this works.
Well, there's something really grounding about connecting with nature through gardening. It's a real way to interact with nature, to nurture life and see the cycle of growth.
I can imagine how satisfying it must be to plant something and watch it grow. It must be a powerful way to de-stress.
It is. And beyond that personal satisfaction, horticultural therapy is used with trained therapists. They guide people through gardening to help them heal and grow.
So it's more than just gardening in your backyard. It can be a structured therapy.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the benefits of connecting with animals in nature. That's animal-assisted therapy.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love spending time with animals? But how does this work as therapy?
Interacting with animals can do so much for us. It reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and even boosts oxytocin, which is the hormone associated with bonding.
It's like a natural dose of love. So how is this used with ecotherapy?
There are a few different ways. You could walk dogs in the park,
Mm.
groom horses, or even just spend time with animals at a sanctuary.
So it's about combining animals with nature. That sounds amazing.
Now, for those who want a really intense and potentially life-changing experience, there's wilderness therapy.
We talked about this a bit earlier, and it definitely sounds intense. What makes wilderness therapy so unique?
Wilderness therapy usually involves being in nature for extended periods, often in really remote places. You might hike, camp, even rock climb. These challenges are combined with therapy and group work.
So it's not just about surviving in the wilderness, it's about using those challenges to grow as a person.
Exactly. Being completely immersed in nature like that allows you to disconnect from everyday life. You connect with yourself and nature. The challenges help build resilience and problem-solving skills.
So it's like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone in nature?
That's a great way to put it. And without technology and all the distractions, you can really focus on self-discovery.
It sounds like a powerful way to reset and reconnect with what's important.
It can be a life-changing experience. And remember, we've only just scratched the surface. There are many other forms of ecotherapy, and they can be adapted to your needs.
So it's about finding what works best for you.
Exactly. Whether it's a daily walk, gardening, or going on a wilderness adventure. It's all about rediscovering that connection with nature, that connection that can heal us in so many ways.
Welcome back to our exploration of ecotherapy. We've gone from the science behind our connection to nature, to the different ways we can experience it. Now I'm excited to talk about specific techniques and practices that can strengthen this connection.
There are so many techniques that can deepen our engagement with nature. It's about going beyond just being in nature and really cultivating an intentional relationship with it.
Right, so it's like shifting from just observing to actively participating. How can we do that?
One great technique is guided nature meditation, combining mindfulness with the peacefulness of nature.
So instead of just sitting in nature and letting your mind wander, it's about doing a guided meditation while being surrounded by nature.
Exactly. A guide might have you focus on your breath, or notice the small details around you, or even picture calming scenes from nature.
I can see how that would make meditation even better. It's like nature helps you focus and be more present.
And research shows that guided nature meditations can be really effective for reducing stress, improving mood, and enhancing focus. It's like nature adds this extra layer of support for calming your mind and finding inner peace.
That's fascinating. What about other ways we can be more active with nature for our well-being? Like journaling, for example.
Journaling in nature is fantastic. It combines self-reflection with the calming presence of the outdoors.
So it's not just about writing down your thoughts, but about bringing in those sensory experiences of nature.
Exactly. You might describe the colors of the sunset, the patterns of a leaf, or the sound of the wind. It's about bringing those details to life on the page.
I love that idea.
And studies show that writing, especially in nature, can reduce stress, improve mood, and even boost your immune system.
Amazing. What about other creative things? Can we connect with nature through art or music?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Nature is full of inspiration for creativity. You can paint landscapes, sculpt with natural materials, or even write music inspired by the sounds of the forest.
It's like nature becomes your muse.
Exactly. Doing these things in nature can boost your mood, reduce anxiety, and even make you feel more connected to something bigger than yourself.
It's like tapping into a universal creative energy.
Now, besides these individual practices, ecotherapy often uses group activities and community engagement, which can make the benefits even stronger.
Right. We talked about the importance of social connection earlier. How does that fit in with ecotherapy?
Group sessions can be really powerful. Imagine going on a nature walk with others, working in a community garden, or doing group art therapy in nature. It's about sharing these experiences and building a sense of community.
I can see how that would be really helpful, combining nature with the support of a group.
And there's also a movement toward building supportive nature-based communities.
So creating places where people can come together to connect with nature and with each other.
Exactly, like community gardens, therapy groups, or even just regular meetups for walks. It's about connecting nature, community, and well-being.
I love that.
And speaking of giving back to nature, there are also opportunities to volunteer for conservation efforts.
I'm a big believer in that. It feels so good to protect the nature that heals us.
Absolutely. It's a way to show gratitude and contribute to its well-being.
What are some ways people can get involved?
There are so many ways. You could plant trees, restore habitats, or even help maintain trails. You get to make a real difference and deepen your connection with nature.
It's a beautiful cycle. We receive healing from nature, and we give back by protecting it.
Exactly. This has been a great exploration of ecotherapy. We've covered so much, from the science to the practical ways to use it. It's clear that ecotherapy is more than just a trend. It reminds us how connected we are to nature and its power to heal us.
I feel so inspired. It's like we've been given a guide to reconnect with nature and its healing power. What's the most important thing you want listeners to remember?
I think the key is that anyone can use ecotherapy. It's about finding what works for you
Hmm.
and gradually bringing nature into your life.
Yes. Even small steps can make a big difference, like taking a few minutes to look at the trees or having some houseplants.
It's about making that choice to connect with nature and experiencing the benefits. And for those who want to go deeper, check out the resources in the show notes. You'll find links to books, organizations, and articles.
This has been amazing, but before we finish, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought.
I'm all ears.
We've talked about how nature heals, but what could your personal journey with ecotherapy look like? What small step can you take today to connect with nature? Remember, nature's healing power is waiting for you.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into ecotherapy. May your days be filled with the peace and healing of nature.